Is June 17, 2024. How are you all doing? What do you call it when someone hears the truth, sees the truth, and still believes the lies? Is that a cognitive dissonance thing happening? Or is that somebody who is so stuck in this matrix they can't get out of it and they just keep leaping back to the lies? Are you hanging in? That question is posed because I have known subscribers who have just given it all up and decided to remain comfortable in their bubble, and they just don't want to hear it anymore. Okay. Well, I hope that's not any of you. But let's see who is here today. Analog Synth Player and Donna Davidson, hello. Alicia DeMoss, D. Moore, Rage Against the Machine, Kim Blanchard, hello. Andrew Cruz, Justin Wynn. You're going for 2 interviews. Okay, Justin. Let us know, please. Keep us informed. Oh, I really hope they go well for you. Miss Blanche, hello. Angelos, sorry, wonder why. James B, hello. Hypocrites Matrix. Okay, Rage. I'm sure a lot of people can identify with family members or friends just not going there, don't believe it, sticking their fingers in their ears. Hello, Barb in Ohio. Sandra, hello. And Sith Trish and Sheepdog Patriot and Sherry Langford and M. Tashunka B. and Ruled by Fictions. I apologize if I've mispronounced your name. M. Tashahunka B. Christopher James, Space Indian, Del Griffin, hello. Hi, guys. So it is Monday, and it is June 17, and I'm going to say it again. It just feels like time is speeding along. It does that when we're having a good time, right? Steve Lander, hello. Radar, look at this. Look at these frequencies here in Texas. Look at all of these frequencies up here in the East Coast, but all of these supercells. It's amazing. We're definitely not at a loss for supercells. Every single day, we've got them activated. Activating in Kentucky, activating in Pennsylvania and New York State and Ohio and Indiana, and we got them in Tennessee, and we have them in Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana and Arkansas and way up here in Montana and Wyoming. And what pray tell is happening here? Now that's interesting. We'll call it an anomaly, right? As if we have anomalies anymore. We just have wild weather, wild, wacky weather. I believe that is a plasma. Well, it's, look at this. It's, the supercell activates, it's extinguished, creates another supercell up here in Nebraska, and wow. Well, you have to admit that radar is pretty exciting these days, huh? Well, the change of images now have given us extremely low frequencies belting away, extinguishing some of these supercells. You're not supposed to activate now. We don't want you activated now. We're waiting for the tropical storm that's coming. And boy, oh boy. At least they left Florida alone for the day. But look at this. You got a train coming in from the East Coast into Florida. A train of what? What is this? Is it rain? We don't know. We don't know. Wow. Oracle 11, hello. Lady Suffragette, hello. Bizarre. Just seems like everything is just bizarre. Well, we know that the bizarre is deliberately created. Is this the system? Is this the tropical storm that they're talking about? Really? Wow. That's mighty big. Extends all the way into the Pacific. It's extending almost right out. Hawaii, Honolulu is here. This is your tropical storm forming in the Gulf. What the hell? And oh God. Some days it's just good for nothing. Look at all of these blips along the coast of Mexico. Lined up. You got your nanobot soldiers ready to activate, ready to come together to create cumulus cloud. But really, well, when they create so big a manufactured cloud, they could bring about anything and call it anything, because they can lie about anything. So this is the tropical storm that apparently the western portions of the Gulf are going to be experiencing an awful lot of rain from this tropical storm, which is going to be making landfall in Mexico. But swing this cloud over, you got an awful lot of rain. All right, let's just look at tornado alerts. None, they all expired. That's good. How about severe weather alerts? You got several. Texas, Kentucky, Indiana. Indiana right here. Also Indiana, Illinois, and is that Pennsylvania? And Virginia. Wow. Okay. What do we got? Kristen, and Trigg in Kentucky. You got severe thunderstorms. Texas, Pecos, and Reeves. Severe thunderstorms. Bedford, Franklin, Virginia. Severe thunderstorms. Davis, Greene, Martin, Indiana. Severe thunderstorms. Pennsylvania, Center, and Clinton, severe thunderstorms. Remember, our thunderstorms are just not what they used to be. Severe thunderstorms can bring about large hail, straight line winds, damaging winds, tornadic activity. The frequencies, just ignore them, okay? Just ignore them. These frequencies have nothing to do with the weather that you are getting. Just ignore it. So here's your severe weather in Virginia, severe weather in Pennsylvania, Ohio. Yeah. Very colorful. We have very colorful weather these days. I shouldn't say these days because it's been going on for a while. I'm surprised Minnesota is not listed in the severe weather alerts, because this looks pretty severe to me. Southern Minnesota. But really, here we go. That's it. That's your weather system. That's the tropical storm developing in the Gulf. And it's already making its way to Chicago. Okay. And what the hell is this? Is that the Atlantic weather system? Can't be. Can't be. Oh, but who knows? Because that's happening too. No, they said it was a couple of 100 miles away from the Bahamas or somewhere, I don't know. All right. Where is it? I guess this is it. Oh. You gotta guess now. Because they lie about everything. And that's very upsetting, and it should upset everyone. Okay. Let me give you the links, okay? Because all of you should be bookmarking and checking out several times a day, because wow, can they activate these storms rather quickly. All right, so radar link is in Zoom Earth satellite. You can also get radar and precipitation, wind, temperature, humidity, whatever, on Zoom Earth. Link is in the chat. And where is it? Tornado alerts. There you go. And severe weather alerts. Okay, so much to my chagrin, we have a lot of weather and fires. First alert of 2024 hurricane season tropical storm watch on Texas coast. 2 separate tropical systems are forecast. 2 separate, wow. The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season is heating up. A system in the Gulf of Mexico that will soon become Tropical Storm Alberto has prompted a tropical storm watch for the Texas coast. Heavy, potentially flooding rain is expected across the western Gulf Coast. There is no tropical storm. I'm sorry. You saw from out in the Pacific, the mid-Pacific Ocean, all the way into the Gulf and all the way on up to Chicago. Sorry, that is not how tropical storms develop in the Gulf. Okay, all right. I don't like living in the land of idiocracy. I really, it's taxing. So, guess what? Heavy potential flooding rain is expected across the western Gulf Coast, with as much as 15 inches possible. A tropical storm watch has been issued for the Texas coast from Port O'Connor southward to the mouth of the Rio Grande. It's one of the 2 separate tropical systems. The other one is in the Atlantic Ocean. Here we go. So I guess it was that blob. And here, coming into Mexico. But forget about it, because you're going to get hit with a tremendous amount of rain, flooding rain, just what you need. Texans, right? Just what you need. So, forecasts to strengthen this week, and each could have an impact on portions of the southern United States, although the center of the storm will likely make landfall in Mexico, a ways down in Mexico, right? But that's good enough. Bring it on up. Climate change has created cloud structures that look like this, right? Look at this. Are they heating up the oceans? Is this what we're looking at? This is today. Starting at 11, going to 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they heating up the oceans? Because that's a mighty bright light in the ocean. Okay, so, yeah, here. Oh, wow. Look, it's magnificent. It just grows and grows and grows. Oh, wow. This is the system. This is what they're calling a tropical storm. Is anyone else a little like, come on, man, this is too much? Anyone else? Yeah. All right. Well. Fires. Well, I didn't finish actually. Let me tell you when they're going to be hitting. So although the storm will likely make landfall in Mexico on Wednesday, heavy rainfall is still expected to spread over portions of the northwestern coast of the U.S. Gulf of Mexico by the middle of the week. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Dan Pednosky explained that, quote, even if the tropical storm falls short of reaching tropical storm status, so it may not develop into a tropical storm. Okay. But we're still going to bring you an awful lot of rain. This is 11:40 a.m. today. Look at all of these nanobots. Look at this thing. Just blow it on up. Yeah, even if the tropical storm fails, we got your back, okay? We have your back. We're going to bring a whole lot of rain. It says a plume of rich, deep tropical moisture is expected to surge into Mexico, into Texas, into Louisiana, into the middle of the week. Weather Channel meteorologist Jim Cantore, I think that's how you pronounce his name, warned that, quote, double-digit rainfall totals are likely along the coastal counties of Texas and potentially Houston. Flash flooding is a possibility in some parts of Texas, including in Brownsville, Corpus Christi, Houston, San Antonio. They're going to bring it on. Atlantic system also bears watching. Forecast to approach the coast of the southeast United States on Thursday and Friday. Locations from Melbourne, Florida, to Charleston, South Carolina, will be at risk for heavy rain from the storm. And the National Weather Service in Jacksonville, Florida, warned of, quote, numerous to widespread showers and embedded heavy storms pushing onshore at times with strong gusty winds as the main threat. It's an extraordinary year that's coming to us, possibly. Fires. Got a lot of fires breaking out in California.
Now, for those who are traveling down to Southern California this week, you should try to avoid the 5 freeway. The Post Fire north of Los Angeles is traveling fast, causing part of the freeway to close. Here's the latest on this large fire that's causing many evacuations. California's wildfire season is off to an aggressive start. Saturday afternoon, a fire sparked just north of Los Angeles in Gorman. This fire, dubbed the Post Fire, rapidly grew, spreading thousands of acres within 24 hours. A woman who was camping in the area said she didn't think much of it until it was the point where they needed to get out and go.
We saw the smoke coming up, but it wasn't that bad yet. And then, eventually we're like, we don't think it's safe. It might be fine, but, 5% chance it might not be fine. And then it became like a 10, 20% chance. And then eventually the sheriff was just like, you guys got to go. And
firefighters have been working tirelessly, having many entities, including CAL FIRE, Los Angeles County Fire Department, and the U.S. Forest Service battling it out. But the reason this fire has been spreading so quickly is because of low humidity and the wind.
We're going to have
low humidity and the wind. So, several fires have broken out since the Gorman fire. That should come later, but the Manteca grass fire forces evacuations. This is in the Sacramento area of California.
Right now, evacuations are underway in Manteca, where crews are battling a grass fire. This is video from the scene on McKinley Avenue in Bronson, just south of State Route 120. The McKinley off-ramp is closed and multiple structures are threatened by this fire. People on Bronson Road are being told to leave the area immediately.
A lot of grass fires erupting pretty much simultaneously. Here, evacuation orders issued as Point Fire in Sonoma County surpasses 1,000 acres.
Hundreds of firefighters on the front lines battling the Point Fire in the North Bay. That fire exploding to more than 1,000 acres in less than 24 hours. We're live as crews are working to save homes from those flames. And a good morning to you. Thanks for joining us for our midday newscast. I'm Marcus Washington. Well, let's talk about it. We have team coverage. Meteorologist Carrie Hall. She is tracking the weather for us. But first, we want to start with NBC Bay Area's Bob Riddell. He's over at the CAL FIRE Sonoma Air Attack Base. This is where those fire crews will launch.
All right, if you want to know more about the Point Fire, you can click on the link or just put in the search bar on YouTube, Point Fire, and you'll learn. Structures are threatened, evacuations going on in an awful lot of areas, but California wildfires, Post Fire, Excelsior Fire, Quartz Fire, Point Fire, and here's another fire that broke out this afternoon in Rancho Cordova. And I have to say, every time I see a fire like this, I'm always reminded of Jeff Schneider too, talking about the plasma fire, seeing his videos years ago that he posted, that I actually got to see in Montana, the suddenness of smoke coming from the ground, and I was, very curious about it. And then I watched Jeff Schneider 2's video, and he showed these plasma fires breaking out in Montana. And that's what it does remind me of. A lot of homes in here. It's a grass fire. Does that matter? No, it really doesn't. So, this is another fire in the Mather area of California. Here's another one. Fast-moving fire burns. 150 acres in Copperpolis area.
Olivares County now. We want to get you updated on this fast-moving fire. It's burning near Arrow and Hunt roads. From this angle, you can really see that smoke there. Fire crews telling us the flames have already scorched 150 acres. At least one structure is threatened, so we're going to continue to follow all of these stories for you at 4.
CAL FIRE crew.
Wow. Unusual activity in the San Andreas Fault is about to trigger a major earthquake. Yay! No yay. No, no, yay. I will put the link in the chat. And you can watch that video. And we had an earthquake in Florida. A 4.2 earthquake in Florida. And it just so happens that this earthquake was in the same area where you had a tremendous amount of flooding and rain for days and storms coming in, obviously manufactured frequencies in use.
It is June 17, 2024, Monday. Did anyone hear about the 4.2 earthquake in Florida yesterday? Check this out. A magnitude 4.2 earthquake 24 miles south of Kissimmee, Osceola County, Florida, United States on Sunday, June 16, 2024 at 5:15 a.m. New York time. A 4.2 in Florida. I did not see anything about this yesterday. Check out these details. As we said, 4.2 magnitude. That is huge for Florida, like literally huge.
The depth, 5 kilometers. When you see such a shallow earthquake for 4.2, you know that that was created by electromagnetic frequencies. Extremely low frequencies can in an instant create that. All right.
Multiple reports came in. You can see that here down in this chart here, a couple in this area, and then one a little farther to the north, almost in Georgia. But Volcano Discovery is labeling this as an actual earthquake. Jumping over to the USGS, if you click 7 days all magnitudes, you do not see this earthquake in Florida. They did not report it. The USGS is showing no earthquakes for the state of Florida. We did have one in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania yesterday, but there is absolutely nothing showing this 4.2 earthquake in Florida. So as of right now in this posting, it is in preliminary automatic detection, which means the sensors automatically pick this up. And although it says one report was on file, there's clearly more than one report. We have some in Florida and then some to the north in Georgia. I would love to know anyone that felt this earthquake, because when you see these on this site here, Volcano Discovery, a lot of times these smaller ones are disregarded. They could be meteor explosions or something else going on natural in the area. But when you get a big one like this, 99% of the time actually happened. And then when you go ahead and click on it, you have the actual details of this earthquake. As you
And always check out the depth of these earthquakes. I'll put the link into Thin Air's video. And if you haven't subscribed, I recommend doing so, because he's covering a lot of what a whole lot of people used to cover, but a whole lot of people have. Where are they? Mexico. Storms, flash floods, submerge vehicles and demolish homes. Wow. And guess what? They have another one coming.
Heavy rains lashing the Yucatan Peninsula have wreaked havoc in parts of Quintana Roo, with the state capital, Chetumal, experiencing severe flooding. The relentless downpours, which began on June 14th, overwhelmed drainage systems and caused rivers to overflow, submerging.
I can't. This is happening all over the world. Drainage systems all over the world just stopped working. I cannot believe I look at this and I think to myself, people aren't questioning this? What is this? They're not questioning this? Are you flipping kidding me? Come on.
Heavy rains lashed and Sunny Martin.
And they don't question. This kind of flooding happening over and over and over again. And in many of the same areas. No, not questioning this. All right. Overwhelmed. Drainage system, that's good enough for me. Oof. My God. Homes are, you can bet, destroyed. Businesses destroyed. Alright, well, this is what we have. Bartlett Lake recreational areas being evacuated due to Riverside fire. What?
We start on wildfire. Watch a wildfire near Bartlett Lake prompting evacuations at this hour. Tonto National Forest officials say that fire began near the Riverside campground at Bartlett Lake. Multiple roads are closed right now. Meteorologist Ashley DiMartino is tracking the latest weather conditions, the wind and the extreme heat. Today is another weather action day. But we begin with Patrick Hayes with the latest on those.
This is in Arizona. 106 degrees. It's hot. And it's dry, and we've got winds, so we've got fire.
Evacuations. Patrick.
Yeah, firefighters got the call just after noon. All Bartlett Lake areas in the recreation areas have been evacuated at this point. Now, if you take a look behind me, you can see some of those road closures happening right now. This is all at the Riverside campground so far. About 60 acres have been burned. Multiple agencies are
Roads are closed.
All right, so closed roads. This is in Arizona, and they keep talking about the low humidity, the high winds, the heat. And I don't think 106 is all that high. Not for Arizona. That's what I'm hearing. So, bird flu outbreak at Australian farm. 400,000 birds have been euthanized. Yes, the globalist tactics to attack farmers, reduce food production. I don't know if this will...
There are fears of an egg shortage in Melbourne this morning after a bird flu outbreak at a farm west of the city in Meredith. The farm has been placed in quarantine and 400,000 birds have been euthanised to prevent a wider outbreak. Also, a child in Victoria has become Australia's first confirmed human case of an emerging bird flu strain after returning from India in March. There are fears of an egg shortage in Melbourne this morning.
They're bringing it on. They are bringing it on. They are bringing it on. And my God. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand living the same old. Plane crashes near I-25. Denver.
Plane crash. It is an absolute mess out here. We're over on the Larkspur exit just...
I don't know why this keeps doing this.
west of I-25, I should say. And if you take a look behind me, the interstate northbound I-25 backed up for miles. It's bumper to bumper, multiple lanes closed because of that plane crash. Now, what we understand from Douglas County Sheriff's Office is that a plane crashed on the east side of the interstate. That would be northbound I-25 just before 8 this morning into a field. We understand it's covered in kind of a brushy area. We understand 2 people were in that plane. They were both taken out and turned over to EMS and medical personnel, both taken to a local hospital. But at this point, we don't know their injuries, if they're okay or not. Now, on top of all of this, the plane crashed upside down on the side of the interstate. We know there's a small fuel leak that is currently being taken care of. All this information coming from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and the FAA has been notified and will be handling the crash investigation. So
they have to shut down a portion of I-25 when a plane crashes in a field next to the interstate? Really? I don't know. It just seems a little odd to me. Oh, but the first responders had to get in. Ugh. All right. Yeah, man. Porsche plunges from New York City parking garage. Wads of cash found on the wreck. Okie dokie.
Strange story coming out of the Bronx, and that's because police, they're trying to figure out what happened when a Porsche drove over the side of a parking garage.
It landed upside down, a cell phone and a wad of cash left on top of it. Robert Moses has more.
It is not a sight you see every day. How did a Porsche plunge from the second level of this Target parking lot just west of the Major Deegan Expressway and wind up upside down with wads of cash, including $100 bills, and a cell phone on its undercarriage? Police seem to be asking those questions, too. Here's what we know. Shortly after 5 yesterday morning, police responded to a call reporting an overturned vehicle at 40 West 225th Street. Oh, it was overturned all right. And a huge section of the parking deck sat in pieces on the ground. The driver, who presumably could shed light on what happened, did not remain at the scene, according to police. The photographer who shot this video tells me that he could see blood inside the vehicle, suggesting someone was injured, but police say no injuries were reported to them. Authorities say they do not have any information about whether the Porsche was stolen.
So whoever was in the vehicle, I guess, took out the money and the phone, and something surprised that person, and they ran off, leaving the money and the phone on top of the undercarriage of the car. We've got a lot of cars that are flying off parking garages. Leaving one to speculate. Girls, I empower you to walk away. Walk away, because when we stop, it stops.
Women, these are girls. Until this day, Mr. Bridge, can you answer a question? Are you okay with the 12-year-old seeing a male's penis in the bathroom? Are you okay with the male going on a girls' softball team and taking away those opportunities for that girl? So just because you may have not heard it, it does happen here. Do the right thing. I don't think we even point this fact out. Me having conversations with people, 6% of Fortune 500 CEOs are women. 90% were athletes in high school. What does that tell you? Perseverance, hard work, how to take a loss. You take that away, you take away everything from a woman being successful. Women's rights, stand up. These are women, these are girls. You know, I heard Riley Gaines say they were waiting for their dads to come into the locker room and save them from them being able to see a male's penis fully intact dressing in the locker room, and that male taking away their right. And she said she waited and waited and waited for their own fathers to save them until she realized it was not their fathers to save them, it was themselves. Girls, I empower you to walk away. Walk away, because when we stop, it stops. We need to tell our daughters that. When they get on a field and a boy's there, or they get to go race and a boy's there, if they get on that mark to jump into that pool and the boy's there, you empower those girls to walk away. because when they walk away, it stops. And that is period dot right there. We have to tell them they are in the inflection point of Title IX. Title IX was meant for their rights, nothing else. We allow people to pervert these things, and then we expect the public, because they're always deceived, to just follow in line. Oh, it's to protect people. It's to protect these people. It's to protect this group. It's to protect.
Yep. Need an awful lot of sane Americans to be standing up and speaking against this unbelievable travesty. Yeah. So, how about all right. Los Angeles City Council removes homophobic no U-turn signs. Did you hear that? Let me read that again. Los Angeles City Council removes homophobic no U-turn signs. This is what this country is. Silver Lake. Okay. I'm not quite sure. But did we somehow end up on a different planet? I don't know.
LA City Council members Hugo Soto Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
They were put up to keep gay people from meeting other gay people. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I apparently our government officials are really very consumed with very important duties because we don't have anything else going on. It's just not right. Major venues now punishing people for using cash versus plastic. I got punished for using cash, paying my phone bill. I think they charged me an additional $350 because I was paying cash. That makes sense, right? U.S. currency. You get punished. Go cashless or pay extra. 41-year-old New Yorker found out the hard way, looking to enjoy some popcorn and soda at a game. They were shocked to discover, or he was shocked to discover, that his cash was as good as obsolete. Instead, he was directed to a reverse ATM where he inserted $200 only to receive a debit card with $196.50 after he was hit with a $350 service fee for the convenience of going cash free. That's all you can do when you go to a baseball game now. Reverse ATMs like those at Yankee Stadium are now common at cashless venues and restaurants across the country as a way to cater to those who prefer paying in cash. Cater? I don't see this catering to those paying with cash. I see it as an inconvenience, and they're being charged, and it doesn't matter how much the fee is, that they're being punished because they are paying with cash. People who want to pay their parking tickets, tolls, taxes, or phone bills in cash, meanwhile, often learn that government agencies and businesses have outsourced that option to companies that use a charge fee. All that usually charge a fee. All that can amount to a penalty. All that can amount to a penalty on the people who prefer paying cash. Though it is more common to buy things with cards and mobile devices, cash remains the third most popular way to pay. Really? We're down to 16% of all payments paid in cash in 2023? That's scary. Well, get ready for those CBDCs, because an awful lot of people, yeah, they're going to go, thank you. Critics argue that the move sidelines those who rely on cash, often the young, the elderly, or the poor. To let my 13-year-old go buy a slushie at the amusement park, I'm already out $6. I understand that there's a place for electronic payment, but I don't think it should be the only option. It's unbelievable that we actually have to tell retailers this is U.S. currency, and it's something that should be accepted. But not today. States like Colorado and Rhode Island have pushed back, banning cashless retail establishments. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are batting around bills that would make it mandatory for businesses to accept cash for purchases under $500. Companies like ReadyRiff are cashing in, literally doubling their shipments of reverse ATMs to keep up with demand for businesses ditching the traditional cash transactions. It has been a pretty wild shift. Senior Vice President of ReadyRiff, probably one of the biggest we've seen for a specific product in such a short amount of time. Oh, bring your plastic or be prepared to pay up at the ball game. Oh, it's going to be it's been so easy for the globalists to just push through their agendas, and it'll be a slam dunk. Digital, when we go digital, when cash is no longer, forget about king, no longer. And Daily Wire reports the World Economic Forum calling for a controlled demolition of the global food system as part of a major reinvention of how humans consume food. In a disturbing article posted to their website on Thursday, the World Economic Forum declared that the consumption of meat and traditional forms of farming needed to be banned in order to prevent so-called global boiling. In the article titled Feeding the Future, Why Renovation and Reinvention Are Key to Saving Our Food System. It's coming, and it's coming fast. I don't think a lot of awake people realize how fast everything is developing. The food transition involves, this is from the article, a food transition involves a similarly comprehensive transformation with two different stages of change, renovation and reinvention. While renovation makes incremental improvements across the food value chain, reinvention aims for systemic change, the fully scaled reorientation of food production in a way that alters the underlying structures within the modern food industry. Yay! I hate it. Oh my God. When it's so obvious that we have incredibly sick, warped, psychopathic, subhuman entities that are literally transforming the earth and destroying life as we know it, destroying our lives, you would think that more people would be screaming. Scary Aaron Rodgers even says this. He's a baseball player, if anybody didn't know. Was he a Yankee on the Yankees? I don't know. I don't care for baseball.
Leave us alone. Leave us alone.
Yeah, stop spying on me.
Yeah. Get off my computer, get off my cameras, get off my Ring camera, you know, take down all this stupid fucking CCTV cameras everywhere that are watching everything. And because the next step to all of this, people don't realize this, and this is the fucking facts, is China and what's going on there, and social credit scores, and your entire life monitored. Like, that's where we're going. Slowly, Jordan Peterson said, was doing an interview and talked about how does, you know, I can't remember what the conversation was, but I heard him say this. How does corruption take form when it's so obvious? It's slow movements. It's like barely inching towards, you know, total corruption and obedience, where you don't really see it coming. Next thing you know, like, oh, I have no other option but to get a chip in my hand, or have a social credit score that allows me to, you know, fly in a plane. If I don't have a good one, then I got to ride on a bus or a train or a cab, or, you know, I can drive. You know, they want all electric cars. I can just, you know, shut that off at some point because your post on Facebook, you know, kind of violated the government standard here. And also, we're going to freeze your bank account, or only let you, you know, eat at this restaurant. Eat at the, you know, get groceries from this store, not like the nice, you know, organic store. You're going to have to eat this shit over here, or eat insects or whatever the hell.
The Oreo store.
Yeah, we're not far from that if we don't, like, stand for civil liberties. And people are always like, you know, when I talk about, because I'm always been a big proponent of Ed Snowden, and people are like, well, I have nothing to hide. And I'm like, that is the fucking worst answer, because I don't have anything to hide either. But I want my privacy, and you understand. You think the government's just going to stop at what they're doing now? They're not going to stop with this. They're inching closer to being 1984, where they have a set in some sort of TV set in your house that watches you. Make sure you get up and do your 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups. We're going to watch every aspect of your life. We're going to give you a social credit score. We're going to create, I mean, it's a fucking great book to read. It was written in 1949. And how accurate it is today. Literally, the Ministry of Truth, we literally had a government organization that was censoring free speech and categorizing things as misinformation. There was a Ministry of Truth czar who was making decisions based on what they thought was acceptable language online, and all these fact-checking bullshit. Like, we're not far from 1949, from that book, 1984, which was written in 1949, if we don't take a stand for our civil liberties. And
yeah, I will say this. You know, the slow movements towards complete corruption, it has been that way ever since after 9/11 and then the internet. It became really obvious, very obvious, that our country was rapidly deteriorating into something that we just, I mean, it's hardly even familiar. That came on fast. All of this stuff since 9/11 has been happening fast. The corruption has been going on for a very, very long time. So, yeah, and how many of us have been screaming, you know, hey, look here, something's going on here, this isn't good. All of the agendas, trying to educate people. No, sorry. You know, unfortunately, I've been thinking, because there are people who say, you know, that people deserve, you know, what they get. And I think, you know, is that true? I mean, does anybody deserve any of this? Absolutely not. But unfortunately, there's an awful lot of people who just don't give a shit. They're walking the low road. They don't care about anything but their own little self in their own little bubble. Let me have my comfort. Don't want to do anything different. Don't tell me that I have to expand my horizons. Don't tell me that I actually have to smarten up, grow up. No. I'm going to stay on the low road. Get the hell away from me. You're a crazy person. You're off your meds. Because we have so many of them. They pull all of us down into the shit. That's what pisses me off. And Bill Cooper knew it. He knew it. Let's see. Here we go.
And there's a reason that people are like this. Because people, for the most part, are mindless sheep. The Illuminati are absolutely correct. I have discovered this. It has been one of the greatest disappointments of my life to discover that most people, the people that I have been battling for, the people that I have laid my life down for you can be sure that when the New World Order comes into power, my life is forfeit for the work that I have done. It has been the greatest disappointment to find out that they are absolutely right about most of what they call the masses. Whenever you hear somebody use that term, they're usually one of them. Are nothing but cattle, sheep, mindless animals, steaks on the table and beasts of burden by choice and consent. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's true. It's because from the beginning people are taught to be stupid, taught not to think, not to challenge, taught not to ask questions. You can't even figure out what's going on in your own neighborhood, much less how to stop this New World Order or what to do about it. And so many of you are so absolutely ignorant and stupid. You see, I'm sick of it, folks. You're not going to win anything. You're not going to escape anything, and you're not going to get liberty back. Not at all. You're too stupid to do it. You're too ignorant to do it. You've got too many agendas of your own, most of which are to keep your little fantasies going around you so that you never have to look at the truth and so that you never have to be blamed for anything. But the truth is, if you want to know what's wrong with this country, ladies and gentlemen, go look in the mirror. Go look in the mirror. And you will see exactly what's wrong with the United States of America staring at you in the glass. And I'm just sick to death of it. I am so sick of the lies and the hypocrisy and the bullshit and the manipulations. And you think that you're going to create a world of liberty and freedom? No, these people are going to enslave you because you must be enslaved, because you've got to be controlled, because you can't control yourselves. You can't decide upon the truth. I'm beginning to have a much greater respect for the Illuminati than I ever have in the past. You know, they've been telling me for years, Bill, these people will spit on you. We know that you're telling them the truth, but they don't want to hear the truth, and that's why they have to be controlled and manipulated and led to the slaughter. And I always said in my stupidity, no, you're wrong. You see, you've been hiding the truth from them. All you have to do is show them the truth and things will be better. It will change. We'll have a good world. Peace on earth. Nobody will have to kill anybody again. We can live in freedom and liberty, responsible with the truth. Boy, what a fool I have been all these years.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Did this woman receive any backlash for her signing off a bomb? Finish them. America loves Israel. Always, Nikki Haley. Do you see how unbelievably sick this woman is? How psychopathic she is? We have a shitload of Nikki Haley's in government and walking the streets, just ordinary Americans. How could we possibly get anywhere when these people do what they do and never are they held accountable? We get nowhere. Schumer seeks bill to ban bump stocks after Supreme Court ruling. Well, that's interesting. It seems that the Supreme Court and their rulings don't matter anymore. They don't matter. And this isn't the first time we had someone, Biden, that's right, Biden, when the Supreme Court ruled on the student debt relief, he said, forget the Supreme Court. I'm just going to do it anyway. They're bringing down, purposefully, this is deliberate, all institutions. Get all institutions seen as illegitimate today. So now Schumer wants legislation to outlaw bump stocks after the Supreme Court struck down Trump-era ban on on bump stocks. We don't care about the Supreme Court. Checks and balances, we don't care. We don't have the government an awful lot of Americans believe we have. And that is what is so profoundly sad, dangerous, and sad. Ex-Biden appointee arrested, charged with felony over alleged hate crime hoax. Good. Good. This was the actual Biden. Don't he look rather different these days? Taro Patel, arrested for online impersonation. This is, wow, man. Yeah. Well, this was a guy running for government office in Texas. And yeah, he was writing hateful messages to himself. Oh, poor me. Look at me. I'm being attacked. There's an awful lot of hate hoaxes. Psychiatrist discusses push to put warning labels on social media. Oh, you let me know. You let me know in the comments. Do you think this is going to do anything?
Welcome back. The U.S. Surgeon General is urging Congress to mandate warning labels on social media platforms, just like the warnings you see on cigarette packs. Dr. Vivek Murthy wants to highlight the potential mental health risks for young people. Murthy suggests that while a warning label alone won't make social media safer, it's necessary in raising awareness and also changing behavior. So, are warning labels necessary? Will they help? Joining us now to take a deeper...
If you want to listen to this interview, I can't. It's nearly 5 minutes. Oh, my God. Parents... You're the warning label for your kids. You are the one to take that phone away, to not give your kids phones until they reach some teenage years. But no. FDA under fire. So Anna Paulina Luna's bold stand against toxic food, good for her.
I was like, my girl, speaking my language, something that I have been talking about for years. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so, up in Congress, we obviously have a lot of hats that we wear, but, one of the legislations that I've been very passionate about is really ensuring that all Americans, regardless of party affiliation or social class, have access to clean food. And what we're finding is even on some of these food stamp programs, which I don't know if you know my story, Sarah, which I think you do, but I actually grew up using food stamps. And, we are subsidizing government poison that's making some of the poorest people in our country sick. And ultimately, that contributes to more debt and also to shorter life expectancies, to infertilities. And really, I think the people that are being hurt the most are our children. And so what we're finding is a lot of these artificial food dyes that are banned, mind you, in a lot of countries like Australia and parts of Europe and in Asia are actually linked to cancer, infertility, ADHD, and it's really hurting our kids and hurting our people. And so what I'm trying to do is ensure that that's taken out of our food. I think it's pretty sick that a lot of corporations are taking the cheap way out and basically are serving up poison to our families. And so I'm trying to remove that. And so hopefully it'll be bipartisan, but in the event that it's not, I'm hoping that when President Trump is sworn back into office this upcoming election cycle, that he will give me a word and hopefully we'll...
Oh, I just wish everybody was out of the Matrix at this point. But there are so many who are so stuck in it. But good. Hey, we have toxic food. That's what we eat here. American exceptionalism. We can be lied to about anything. 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 And how many Americans care? How many Americans care? They don't care. A whole lot don't care. Too many don't care. And I am really sick of that. Biden has not connected one person with high-speed internet with $42.5 billion from infrastructure bill. We can be lied to about anything. Brendan Carr, FCC commissioner, wrote, hey, not one person. What the hell's going on? Where is the $42.5 billion going? It ain't going where it's supposed to be going. They only built 7 or 8 electric vehicle charging stations with this infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Who cares? $42.5 billion program that is poised to miss the mark and leave rural communities behind. Ah, now that I should have highlighted in red. That is the purpose. Oh, I didn't even do the red. Well, forget it. Just imagine red. We can be lied to about anything, and we just accept it up the wazoo. All my 65 years, only Americans getting worse and worse and worse and worse. As their country, as their governments get worse and worse and worse, so do Americans. Denver-run sanctuary city quietly sending illegal immigrants to red state. What? What? I thought those Democratic sanctuary state mayors and governors, wow, they sure had a lot of hateful things to say about Governor Abbott sending migrants into their cities. How dare you? You're using these migrants as a political ploy, and you're not a humanitarian. Sanctuary city of Denver, Colorado is quietly paying for illegal immigrants to travel to Utah. Yeah, Utah. Paying for migrants to relocate to other places, including Utah, where approximately 2,000 have been sent. The practice is unacceptable, said, is it Governor Cox? Yes, Governor Cox of Utah. This is unacceptable. Utah's resources are completely depleted. Too bad for you. All 50 states, including Utah, are now border states due to the failed immigration policies of Biden and Congress. No, they're not failed immigration policies. They are not enforcing immigration law purposefully. Once again, we call on the Biden administration and Congress to solve this crisis. Once again. How long has this been going on? Decades. 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 Whether you have a Republican Congress, a Republican White House, or a Democrat. Congress, Democrat, White House. It's only gotten worse and worse and worse. Oh, Carol, it was definitely better during the Trump years. A whole lot of migrants came across the border in the Trump years. A whole lot of migrants were sitting in Mexico due to Title 42. They didn't go back to their countries. They waited out the time for Biden to lift Title 42. Come on down, or in. The vast majority of newcomers arriving in Denver do so on buses chartered from Texas and had no intention of ever coming to Denver. Oh, wow. Denver city official says they had no intention of coming to Denver. That's why part of our operations include purchasing tickets for newcomers to get to their desired location. Utah. That's their desired location. We're not supposed to be, we didn't want to come to Denver. We wanted to go to Salt Lake City. We wanted to go to Denver. Are you kidding me? We're supposed to believe that. Okay. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Job openings versus unemployment looks very much like a recession has begun. The recession began a while ago. Complete loss of your paycheck, bankruptcy cycle in high gear.
This month, I think there have been 9 so far large bankruptcies. That would be bankruptcies with companies, for companies with 50 million or more in liabilities. So that is tracking at the fastest pace since the pandemic first hit. It looks like we're going to see 25 large bankruptcies in June, and that would be larger than the peak after the pandemic hit of 23. So when you have these large bankruptcies, liquidations, what have you, you do have a loss of income, a complete loss of your paycheck.
We're going to do a
What happens when these corporations go bankrupt? A whole lot of people lose their jobs. Oh, the mess is just piling up. It's piling up. And Cape Coral in Florida pauses foreclosure prevention program due to overwhelming demand. Overwhelming demand. So, from listening to this news broadcast, they were saying that something like 170 applicants, and so that was overwhelming demand for this program in Cape Coral. So they're saying that there haven't been a whole lot of foreclosures, but they're preparing for a whole lot coming. And If they're approved in this program, they can get $10,000 to pay their mortgages. And what's the approval? What are the qualifications? Qualifications are that they had a major financial setback, a recent major financial setback, that they have to prove, and you must be unable to pay your mortgage. You've experienced a recent unexpected expense. I would think that more than 170 in this area of Florida, that there's many more, but it was closed down due to overwhelming demand. What does that mean? It means that an awful lot of people in this one tiny region of the country are really struggling financially. 20% of California lives in poverty. Californians, there is so much corruption there. The billions and billions and billions that go missing. And Californians, how come you're not demanding where that money is going? How about the billions for the homeless? And homeless, the numbers just keep rising. California leads the nation in percentage living in poverty. And Spiked, which is a magazine, online magazine, makes a strong case that a dominant class of oligarchs and woke bureaucrats has bled the Golden State dry. I'd say that's quite right. But New York is doing the same. A whole lot of states are doing the same. And I find it interesting that I am seeing, just on my home YouTube page, an awful lot of people who are posting they're homeless, and they're giving an awful lot of tips to those first-time homeless people. That is really a reflection of where we are today. So I'm just going to play a few minutes of this lady here in Phoenix, Arizona.
This morning, I was just thinking that, when I first became homeless in Phoenix, I really didn't know what to do.
She's in a hotel, and unfortunately, I think that's like the air conditioning or something.
My first time being homeless in my life. So I thought I'd make a little video here to help people out if this is their first time becoming homeless and what they should do. Because it's very confusing. There's a lot of people coming homeless for the first time in their lives, and there's so many evictions here, and with the rising cost of living, there's a lot of first-time homeless people in Phoenix. So I just thought I'd share some of my experience and some things that might be helpful for you if this is the first time you become homeless. Number 1, do not call 211. Waste your time. In order to get shelter in Phoenix, you need a referral. And the referral has to either come from CAS, CBI, or the City of Phoenix. Those are the 3 basic places that'll send you referrals for shelter. I would suggest the first thing to do is to find a 24-hour cooling center. The one I stayed at was in Burton Bar Library. They're not fun to stay in. Trust me, you're not going to be enjoying yourself. It's not a party. But it will at least keep you out of the heat and give you a place you can spend the night if you have nowhere else to go, if you don't have any family or friends to take you in. So that would be the first thing I would do. And then there's people that can give you referrals there during the day. So you can talk to the CBI people or the City of Phoenix people there and get a referral to shelter. Just to let you know what to expect when you become homeless for the first time. You are going to be treated like absolute crap. I'm not kidding you. You're going to go, like if you were a normal person, had an apartment, a car, you know, a job, and something is to happen to you, maybe you got into an accident, maybe you got sick. Me, it was a little of both. I had really bad COVID in December, and then I hurt my arm really bad and wasn't able to work. So there's a lot of things that can cause a person to be homeless, and trust me, it can happen to anybody. People think, oh, I'll never be homeless because blah blah blah. Trust me, it can happen to anybody. So expect that people are going to treat you like absolute crap when you go to a hotel, if you haven't got access to showers and things like that. They're going to treat you like crap. So anyway, with that said, if you can, go to the Burton Bar Library or find another cooling center somewhere near you. And that'll be helpful for you. The whole process of being homeless is not fun. No matter what help you get, no matter what shelter you get, you're going to be in a whole different lifestyle. In some ways, shelter is worse than being on the streets. But in some ways, it's better. Just depending. I mean, you don't want to be in the heat here, especially in the summer when it gets upwards of 115 to 120. But definitely going to expect some stricter rules. And you've got to watch these people in shelter, because there's a lot of security guards and different people who get on these power trips and they think, oh, well, you know, homeless people are stupid, homeless people are nothing, and that's not always true. I'm an educated person. I've held jobs all my life. I've always had a place to live. I'm not a stupid person. I actually have a very high IQ, but I do have autism, which makes me struggle sometimes with outside stimuli, and I become, unfunctional sometimes. But with that said, I still manage to get through life.
Yes. The slow drip, which has become quite fast, of homeless who are not drug addicts, who are not alcoholics, who have faced the fabulous evil and suffer the consequences. And it is very hard. How do you know they're solar storms? Moonlight Sonata. Everyone be very careful in the sun, as we are having major solar storms. This can cause some serious illness to some. How do you know they're solar storms? So Sweden is having a major problem. Tolerance Sweden has become a haven for ultra-violent gangs, because of its open-door immigration. So are we. So are we. And yeah, the destruction to Sweden has been, well, pretty much complete. Oh, wow. And check this out. British tourists who did the Brexit, right? No longer a part of the EU. British tourists may face lie detector tests when trying to enter the European Union. In other words, just traveling to France or Spain or Italy or Germany, or these countries are relatively close by. They now, when entering these countries, will be subject to artificial intelligence software set to flag any suspicious tourists to immigration officers. Checks are reportedly sent to come into force at airports and ferry terminals as the EU tightens borders post-Brexit. Yes, you've got to watch those Brits. Yeah, they're a suspicious gang of people. Artificial intelligence software, which analyzes facial movements and body gestures, as passengers fill in application forms, my God, have already been trialed. If the technology picks up signs of deceit or suspicious activity, then an immigration officer would be alerted to the holiday maker's file. Wow. Phased in after an initial entry-exit system scheme is implemented along with visa waiver scheme called the European Travel Information and Authorization System for short stays of up to 90 days, and it's going to cost £7, approximately €6 for British travelers from October 6 on. Patrick Breyer, a German MEP, dismissed the lie detector test as pseudoscience, arguing that it was not possible to deem someone as a liar from their facial expressions and gestures alone. And I agree with that. He told the newspaper it will discriminate against anyone who is disabled or who has an anxious personality. It will not work. But they'll keep it anyway. Plans are in place for the software to be incorporated into both of these schemes, EES and ETIAS, to improve operational capacity. Currently, British citizens can stay up to 90 days in the EU from when they have their passports stamped at borders. In October, travelers will have biometric data, including facial images and fingerprints, collected from the first time they visit Europe and then every 3 years subsequently. Holidaymakers could be interviewed online by an avatar. Carol, what is wrong with your brain? I don't know. It's leaving me. From an avatar immigration officer who will quiz travelers on their name, date of birth, reason for travel. The technology will examine eye movements, body language, facial expressions to determine if the interviewee is telling the truth. I think there's a lot of people who are now scared, and their eye movements might not be what their eye movements would have been decades ago. Their facial expressions and their body language. Personal data of applicants will then be checked against databases that include details of terrorists, criminals, and illegal immigrants. During one pilot, an applicant's social media accounts were also checked, like their X or their Twitter account, raising concerns that political comments on platforms may prevent them from traveling. Think about it. Eye border control, carried out in Greece, Hungary, and Latvia between 2016 and 2019, used avatars to interview participants and monitor their expressions. Meanwhile, the Trespass pilot, which was tested until November 2021, saw facial expressions, gestures, body postures analyzed to see if the traveler is telling the truth. The EU is creating a database known as the Common Identity Repository, which holds 300 million records of people, including terrorists and criminals. All British citizens entering the EU will have their data stored this way. Sounds good, right? They're protecting you. It's for safety. I don't think so. Could be used for other uses, you think? We're all going China. And it's pretty amazing that people are not really... Well, what did he say? Aaron Rodgers. And people were saying he was a football player. He's not a football. Come on. All right, I'm not into football and baseball, but he's a baseball player. Isn't he? Okay, my IQ is not very high when it comes to this sports thing. So, what did he say? The worst answer. I have nothing to hide. All of the people who have said that should really bite their tongue. They have no clue what they have done by saying, I have nothing to hide. So I'm going to link below to these Odyssey videos that were sent to me by a subscriber. And if you want to know what's happening in Taiwan, Agenda 2030, New World Order, a whole lot of robots, a whole lot of surveillance. I'll also link to this. This is another one. I don't know what's going on with the Odyssey, but when I play videos, I can't get them. They're very blurry, and then they stop playing, then they say I have an error, or I don't have the right browser, I don't know. But it's interesting if you can deal with the blurriness. So, 2 Arizona toddlers drown in separate incidences. What is going on? A whole lot of toddlers are drowning.
Happening this Saturday night on 12 News at 6 o'clock, and it has been a deadly day. For children and water across the valley. In the last hour, 12 News has learned a 1-year-old has died after falling into a hot tub. This scene happening this afternoon near 59th Avenue and Thomas in Phoenix. First responders rushing that boy to the hospital where he later died. Tonight, Phoenix police investigating that scene. Right now, it's unknown just how long that boy was in the water before he was found. And just into the 12 newsroom tonight, we have learned that a 2-year-old girl has now died after falling into a backyard swimming pool. Phoenix police telling us that the little girl may have been in the water for about 10 minutes before she was found. Paramedics giving her CPR before she was taken to the hospital. Again, investigators trying to piece this together on exactly how she fell into the pool. Tonight, we are monitoring both.
Where are the parents? Where are the parents? What, how? Okay. So, Aaron Rodgers, oh my God, was one of the best quarterbacks for the Green Bay Packers. Okay, me be stupid. Neighbors rushed to help toddler who nearly drowned in Coral Springs. This is in Florida. These two incidences, back to back, just a couple of hours later, 2 1-year-old in a hot tub, and then a toddler dies in a swimming pool in the same area, hours apart. In Phoenix, Arizona, this one in Florida.
Right now to that near drowning of a toddler in Coral Springs. Officials say the 1.5-year-old was pulled from the water on Sunday.
That child remains in critical condition right now. Many questions remain here. Local 10's Hannah Yoshivi live at the home where it happened and just spoke with the neighbors. Hannah, what have we learned?
Eric and JC, last night a 1-year-old nearly drowned at this home behind me. The next door neighbor, a 22-year-old, heard all the screaming, all the commotion, ran over and even performed CPR to help save the child.
Heard a little girl screaming, and then I look over the fence. I look through the little cracks of the fence and I see that the dad was pulling out the baby from the pool.
Next door neighbor Matthew Perez Choi says the 1-year-old had no vital signs.
I went in the house, I went to the back, and then the 911 operator was on the phone with me trying to tell me how to do the CPR. So I performed CPR on him.
There was several people bent over on the ground.
Yeah, okay. Wow. I guess toddlers are just wanting freedom from their parents, acting independently. Several shootings along Valley freeways this month, Arizona.
On our Valley freeways this month, and at least one of them turned deadly.
And the most recent one, you may remember, happened on Friday. There was a shooting on the US 60 between Power and Higley Roads during the morning rush hour. We covered it live for you right here on the show. DPS says a man was driving when he was shot. Now, he was able to pull over to the side of the road and call 911. At last check, he was still in critical condition. DPS says in this case, one person was taken into custody.
And as for the deadly freeway shooting, this one happened late last Monday on the I-10 near 7th Avenue. DPS troopers say they found a man in an SUV who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital where he died. So the I-10 was closed for hours as troopers investigated. Phoenix police have now assumed the investigation.
The first freeway shooting happened the morning of June 6th. DPS says a man was taken to the hospital after being shot several times. This happened on the I-10 at 67th Avenue. Now, at last check, he had life-threatening injuries. DPS says the suspect in this case took off and this morning is still on the run.
We're a shoot-up nation. Organized retail theft pushes stores to change how we shop. Organized theft. Yeah.
Here, that paired with inflation, that's pushing a lot of businesses to the brink of closure, and the price tag is coming back on those of us who are out buying things.
Yeah, so now some major retailers are making drastic changes to prevent this. ABC 15's Jordan Bonke hearing from the Retail Association about what's being done about this. And Jordan, we're already seeing this here in the Valley. I've seen some big changes at the Target I go to at Christown.
Yeah, you're going to be noticing some of those changes. Next time you come to a TJ Maxx, a Marshalls, or a Home Good, you may notice that some of the store associates are taking a page out of law enforcement's book, and they're actually wearing body cameras. We're told by the parent.
Well, that's not the big change, but putting everything behind lock and key, having to ask for, try to find an employee that works at these places. If you want some laundry detergent, that's major inconvenience. They don't want people they want everybody online. They want everyone online, and the crime, and then, the solution to the crime, that gets people to say, forget it. I'll shop online. Police say deaths of Larangia woman and kidnapped daughter could end with executions. Well, all right, I just want you to hear this guy. It's, well, What do you think?
First tonight, you are about to hear directly from Daniel Callahan, the man accused of killing a woman in Laranja before fleeing with her 2 children and ultimately taking the life of her 4-year-old child. Plus, a second person, a woman also in custody for these heinous crimes.
Mr. Callahan, do you have anything to say? I would like Did you kill Aaron Burnett?
Unfortunately, on Lexapro, sober, no drugs in my system, I did.
Why? Why did you kill the 3-year-old girl?
I have no reason for what I did. All I know is I want to say I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro, and I'm also diagnosed borderline with a multiple personality disorder, and I have not got to talk to a lawyer, and I'm on suicide watch, but I'm not suicidal. But
did you kill her mom? Did you kill her mom?
The Lexapro.
Did you kill her mom?
His mom.
Aaron's mom.
I'm at Rankin County Jail if y'all would like an interview.
Do you regret what you did?
Completely.
You regret what you did?
I would kill me, and I have told them everything that I did, and I have agreed to not fight it, speedy trial, and the death chamber, or whatever it is.
Did you hope for the death penalty?
For what I did, lethal injection is the easiest thing for me.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
No, I'm not pretending to be crazy. Look me up in Region 8. Borderline multiple personality disorder. You better look it up.
So you have
pretend to be crazy. I'm certified. I was only at Nut House 2 weeks now.
So you...
Wow. All right, well, this is our world now. There's a lot of people, could these psychiatric medications cause somebody to kill somebody, and even a 3-year-old, and he doesn't know why he's done it, and he was completely sober? Yeah. Oh, one of the adverse events is homicidal ideation. Slit her throat. Young woman calmly confesses to murdering her grandparents. We have an awful lot of people who have, no feeling anymore. Certainly no shame.
Okay. So I guess let's start from scratch about what happened, starting from when you ran away, I guess. Is that the 31st? Do you remember, or 28th or something like that?
I didn't really run away. My grandma kicked me.
I can't listen to this again, but I'll put the link in if you care to listen to it. Man, we've got a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems with just ordinary people out there that are not well at all. Not at all. 5-year-old injured, man killed in shooting at football game. Okay. We've got it every single day. I'm coming across multiple stories of, you got families that just go to, a graduation or a football game or a family party, a family event, or they just go to the park and shootings.
3 this Sunday morning, and this Father's Day we start with just a tragic scene at a football game in Maryland. A father is dead this morning and a child is in the hospital after a shooting at Potomac High School in Prince George's County.
This morning, police are still searching for the shooter. We're told it all began as a community event when chaos broke out in the bleachers. Fox 5's Nanasan Tuabansu reports.
When I come outside, I see the helicopter and ambulance and many people
frantic after hearing shots fired at a youth football game. Pedro Diaz was inside his Oxon Hill home when he noticed police rush to the back back of Potomac High School to the fields.
A football game was taking place around 7-year-olds.
Young children playing when gunfire broke out from the bleachers just after 11:15. Prince George's County Police Chief Malik Aziz says it started as an argument between two adults.
That verbal altercation escalated into one individual producing a weapon and shooting that individual.
Don't get into any arguments with anybody anymore, okay? Cell phone video shows chaos at graduation shooting at convention center.
The chaos that ensues following a shooting at a graduation ceremony at Albuquerque Convention Center.
Sasha Leninger has the video showing the moment police say a 21-year-old shot.
This is really pissing me off. Well, it's probably the internet that I have here that is
Shot
pretty
his
bad.
stepmom.
It's May 8th, and students from a local charter school are about to graduate. You can see them dressed in their caps and gowns, ready for the big moment. The students walk off the stage, handing roses to their loved ones. And within seconds, what is a big accomplishment turns into a nightmare.
Albuquerque 911, what's the address to your emergency?
We have an emergency. Someone's been shot at the Kiva Auditorium at the convention center. There's been a shooting at the graduation. Please send somebody. Please send an ambulance. My daughter's been shot.
Your daughter's been shot?
Yes, my daughter's been shot.
Cell phone video shows this man in a red jacket walking across the room. Another camera captures the shooting. Police say that man is 21-year-old Christian Bencomo, and the woman he shot, his stepmother, Victoria Bencomo.
The kids were doing a graduation, and some kid pulled out a gun and started shooting.
And did you see where she was shot at?
She looked like she was shot right in the neck, front neck.
An off-duty officer and fireman at that ceremony.
My God. Yeah, I know. A lot of people think that all of this is staged bullshit. It didn't happen. I believe that there were a lot of things going on. A lot of violence years ago. A lot of these mass shootings, you know, that people would analyze and take apart. And yes, you could see that there were some that were staged. But I don't think so anymore. I think they've ramped up the frequencies that have created people to just lose it, and they don't care. You know, it's like all restraints are gone from an awful lot of people. And that's what is really scary. I've seen it in awake people, where they are behaving in ways where they show that they do not care about the other that they are doing things to. Do not care. You know, people who seem to care about animals and then, well, they don't. You know, I mean, the behavior changes that come about when people are stressed are really scary. So, search for American tourist missing in Greece found dead. There's an awful lot of Americans who are dying in other countries. And you gotta wonder, are people just going after Americans? I don't know. And look at this, and I'm gonna, end the live with this. Trump's Georgia prosecutors abruptly stopped seeing. This is so weird. I have never seen an interview, mainstream media interview, quite like it.
Door.com for a link for tickets. You know that Fannie Willis, who is caught being completely unethical, lying. By the way, the Georgia Supreme, that they're prosecuting Trump over his election chicanery, I guess. They're the most corrupt people in the world. Of course they are. So Fannie Willis has already been outed, lied on under oath, lied about her relationship with the guy she hired. She hired this guy, Nathan Wade, who visited the White House before his investigation along with Willis, before his investigation into Trump. Fani Willis paid him hundreds of thousands of dollars, more than double what the other prosecutors made. Why? Because they were having an affair. He billed her office for ridiculous stuff like drafting memos that don't even exist. He took her on lavish vacations and claimed she paid him back in cash. She hired her lover with multiple witnesses testifying they began dating before the investigation. Her staff made up to $175,000 a year and couldn't work private practice. But Wade, her lover, made over $700,000 and continued to work his private practice. Wade had never prosecuted a felony before the Donald Trump prosecution. So why do I bring this up? Because he did an interview. He did an interview with CNN. Watch this crazy thing. Now, they lied under oath. He has lied, and so has Fani Willis. They've lied about when their relationship started. They've lied under oath about that. And so he doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag. So she asked him, watch this.
Just to clarify, when did...
Ready?
Just to clarify, when did the romantic relationship between the two of you start?
When did it start?
Yeah, so, you know, we get into, there's been this effort to say that, okay, these exact dates are at issue, and these exact dates are, I'm getting signaled here. No, don't do that.
Yeah, take it.
What?
Off mic for a second?
Yes.
Okay. Off mic for a second.
Whoa, I'm getting...
Keep rolling, don't stop now.
This is the prosecutor, the guy prosecuting Trump. There was Fani Willis and this guy. And he can't answer a simple question. He has to stop the interview, get up, take his microphone off, and watch what they do. Wait, I'm getting signaled. I'm getting signaled. I can't answer. I shouldn't answer this question. Watch what happens. They keep the cameras running. This guy takes him over there to tell him this. Well, what is he telling him? He gets up mid-interview to consult with his team.
And this is live?
Do you imagine if Trump did this? Anybody else did this? This is...
That's good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. No roll. Okay, we're good. We asked.
Everything okay? Yeah. Just to revisit the question, it was...
Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's okay. What? These are the people going after Trump. They have to stop CNN softball interviews because they don't want to open themselves up for being thrown in jail for lying on the stand. Because that's what that is. Because he lied under oath. Everybody knows it.
And now anybody who watches CNN knows it. And where are Americans? We are being shown that our governments, the prosecutors, law enforcement, everything is coming down. The corruption is so magnificent now. It's in our face. Where are Americans? Nowhere to be heard. That's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. All right, guys. Another night. Yay. Thank you for hanging in with me. I so appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. I do hope to see you tomorrow night. Please stay safe. May you never, ever have to encounter. Look at these frequencies. Look at these frequencies blasting away the northeast coast. Look at this. And you guys in Texas, Louisiana, I so hope that this so-called tropical storm ends up being okay for you. Like, you don't have to throw things out, because look at this long arm of what the hell are we looking at? What are we looking at? I don't even know anymore. You know, just these bizarre things that they call tropical storms. A system in the Gulf, a system off, well, they did say that it was just miles away from the Bahamas. So what is this down here? It looks a little, well, right angled, not really a Mother Nature thing at all. Maybe it's this, they're gonna, you know, whip it up to be a tropical storm coming in, hitting this portion of the East Coast, South Carolina and Georgia and Northeast Florida. But really, okay, they can do anything with this, anything they want. Boy, I hope you guys, sure in the Houston area, do not have to suffer any more flooding. Okay, we bring our best selves to life no matter how tired we are, no matter how we want to just not do that. We try our best to do that. We help those in our community that are in need. Yes. We live honestly and we speak honestly. We establish ourselves as trustworthy human beings. And on that note, I say, be safe, and thanks again for showing up, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Good night, and good luck, guys.